WMDX 92.7 FM and 1580 AM on your radio.
That's right.
That's it.
It's raining.
It's raining.
It's pouring.
I know.
Oh,
I've got that Pee Wee Herman thing
raining.
someplace.
Yeah, where is that? We haven't heard from Pee Wee
I don't
in a
know
long
if
time.
I don't know if I brought in just the it's snowing.
It's raining.
There we go.
It's raining.
Yeah, kind of a drizzly start.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to
All
our
right.
Thursday. What, was there more there?
Yeah.
You what? You play it again?
I don't know. I thought there was more.
What else was there?
Yeah,
I don't know.
nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Never mind.
Grab the umbrella. We
I'm
got showers
hallucinating
today, and maybe clearing out by late in the afternoon.
Don't forget to put new windshield wiper blades on your vehicle.
Every time it rains, new blades. Yep, and don't forget that rear window, boy. You got to check the wiper blades on that every once in a while, too.
I just bought wiper blades and I replaced the old ones that were really, really bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're really inexpensive now.
Are they?
Yeah, they used to be very expensive, remember?
Yeah.
Now they're just like $10, $12
That's
blade.
That's good.
Yeah.
How much did they used to cost?
Oh, like $20.
Yeah, $30, $40, really good ones. But wait, I think maybe they used to sell them in packages.
Yes, of
Two in a pack.
Right.
Now I'm saying, well, they're $12
each.
but singular. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say something like, the dilemma about hot dogs and hot dog buns not
Sure.
being sold in the same number?
Right.
I thought you were going to say something like they sell windshield wipers in like 3-packs or 5-packs or
yeah.
something silly like that.
Like they might just start doing that as well. But everybody's wiper blade is slightly different on the left side and the right side.
Yeah,
They're starting to do that.
That's
Well,
right.
They've done it for a while.
They're not symmetrical. I mean,
Right.
they're not the same length.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, they're different lengths,
one on
different sides of the car.
The driver's is usually a little larger.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why they did
It's a
that.
larger wiper.
Doesn't make any sense. So we've got rain off and on today and high around. Do we have the weather roulette wheel handy? Can we spin the wheel? Let's spin the wheel and see what the high temperature for today will be.
Try the lottery balls.
This is better than any TV meteorology thing that they have on those fancy.
Well, that's
TV
debatable,
shows.
but you never know.
High of 59 today.
All
So
right.
kind of
Well,
cool and
it's
rainy.
a cool day and rainy.
Yeah.
Not good.
Well, the Madison night market is supposed to happen this evening. It's supposed to
Of
clear out
course.
by then. It should clear out by
Yeah.
then. That's what we're hoping for. And of course, we'll have a setup right outside our studios here, right at 202 State Street. That's getting underway at 5:00 this evening. Goes till 9 tonight. So,
Well, it's a pedestrian mall now.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, did they use actual paint on the road, on State Street? They
Well,
did, didn't they?
They used some
What do you-
kind of
what do you
paint.
mean,
Yeah, what else
actual
would they
paint?
use? Chalk?
fake paint.
I was thinking, gosh, this rain isn't going to help the chalk that they...
You're right. That could slow down the chalking of the sidewalks.
So I guess that painting on the road will be there for a long time.
Okay.
That's the
I'm
plan, I
assuming.
believe.
Okay.
Are you hearing a hum in the headphones?
Yeah, a little buzz.
What's going on with that? Sam?
I don't know. I was
Are
trying
you
to. I was
hearing-
trying to think of some witty response, but I didn't have anything.
Okay. But I'm
Are you
thinking-
hearing it too, Sam, or no?
No, I'm not.
Okay, it must be just out here. Okay. Out here in the studio.
I think
Yeah, you
somebody
guys
left,
are out there, all right.
Okay.
somebody left the atomic box open underneath the countertop here.
Really?
Yes.
Think so? Okay.
It powers the station. You didn't know that,
I
right?
had no idea. So here it is. What is it, the 9th day of May? Yes. Right? Have I got that right? I'm shaking his
Yeah.
head.
it's-
Okay.
It's the 9th of May.
Good.
Look in the little
Making
corner of your
progress.
laptop in front of you. It's
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's right there.
Is it there? Ah, okay.
right corner.
Right corner. Way in the corner. Boy, I never noticed the date was there.
Really?
I had no idea. Okay. We're off to a great start today. We got
we got a lot of stuff coming up today.
We do, I'm just so worried about RFK Jr.'s brain worm. It's just, I had nightmares about that last night. Who knew that you could have worms in your brain? I never heard of this before.
We've got that story coming up.
It's so frightening now.
With Morning Joe. And,
parasites.
And there's a movie about the brain eaters, and we'll have a little preview of that as well.
No.
Within that story.
This is such, what
the hell, right?
It's sad and
let's
weird.
Celebrate.
Okay.
We know he's weird. Now we know why.
Now we know why.
Okay, so we'll get to that a little bit later on. We're going to play the Stephanie Miller interview that we had with her the other day. We'll be playing it very, very soon here.
Yeah. And,
just in case, you missed it in the second hour of the program. You're in work by then.
Yeah. We'll have that again. And then we'll have our special guest in our 7 o'clock hour, John Nichols.
Yes, at
the
about
Capital
7:35.
Times. Yeah.
You can check that out.
Looking forward to talking to John.
Sadly, I didn't know he was going to be on the phone.
That's all right.
But
why do you have a problem with the phone? I mean, the phone works.
I'd love to have him here in the studio.
Well, okay.
I don't know if he's been in the studio.
Well, I don't know either. We'll ask him when we get him on the phone. Why don't you come down to the studio?
No, I don't want to put him on the spot.
Okay. Shall we get to the National Day calendar? There's a whole lot to get to. Are you okay with that or not? Or you want to hold off on that?
I'm tepid on that.
Tepid? Really? Okay.
No, let's get to it. I mean,
lukewarm.
This is what everybody waits for, to find out what day it is. Besides, just being a Thursday.
Is it Homefront Heroes Day? Is it National Alphabet Magnet Day? Is it National Bacon Day? National Sleepover Day? Is it National Butterscotch Brownie Day? Moscato Day?
Sleepover Day is not the day.
Well, you're wrong about that. It is Sleepover Day. Lost Sock Memorial Day.
Lost Sock Memorial Day?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Which day is it?
It's not
which
that
day is it not?
It's not that day.
Well, once again, you're wrong. You're wrong twice.
Wow.
Ring the buzzer twice. Yeah.
You're getting good at being deceptive. So,
practicing. It's not National Bacon Day. Not today.
Oh, you had me on that
It could be a day, but not today. Not today, Josephine. Okay, let's get to Homefront Heroes Day. Let's see what that's all about. Once again, I lost the mouse to my computer. I gotta just strap it to the computer. I don't know. I guess I gotta use a cable.
I don't know if they make a strap for laptops.
They do have a cable, though. Yeah. Each year on May 9th, National Homefront Heroes Day honors millions of civilians, past and present, who provide support to service members from the home front. Dedicated heroes roll up their sleeves supporting neighbors, communities, and our nation at home while service members are abroad. And as a result, service members have a peace of mind knowing their families, businesses, and communities are taken care of at home. This is really a thing. And when military, they go overseas, they still receive packages from people on the home front, sending them things like sugar or coffee or, candy. And it's true. I'm telling you. You may laugh, John
Not the middle
Peterson.
40s.
What?
It's not the middle 40s here.
Victory gardens are planted to ensure adequate food supply on the home front. Okay, that does sound like the 40s. Hosting charitable food, metal, and medical drives. These are Homefront heroes, and we salute them today on Homefront Heroes Day. All right?
Okay, I'm there. I'm there with you on that.
Is this the Andrews sisters, or what
This
are we?
is a group called the Four Vagabonds, Rosie the Riveter from 1943.
Rosie the Riveter, of course. That was a fictional character, I think. Based on a real riveter. National Alphabet Magnet Day.
This was the dumbest one. I really thought you made that one up.
Well, on your refrigerator at home, don't you have the alphabet on there? When your boys were little, didn't you have the letters and the numbers
most
on there?
families regret having all of that stuff on their refrigerator?
All the stuff.
Even to this day, there's still stuff there.
Yeah, I know. Why did refrigerators become the gathering place for old coloring books and
Right.
other crap.
It's like those kiosks.
Coloring pages.
Right? It's like it's like an in-home kiosk.
Yeah, it just gets cluttered
What
up.
is? Sorry.
The refrigerator.
Refrigerators.
People
Yeah.
use the refrigerator
Oh,
for
yeah.
everything. They, not
Sure.
only grocery lists,
Posters
but pictures of the
and-
kids, pictures of relatives.
Of
Yeah,
family.
growing up, my mom did all the time, and then like once my brother and I moved out, she's like, "Okay, I'm done with that. I want a clean-looking fridge." And
Right.
took down everything.
Oh.
Well, this is not their day then, because it's National Alphabet Magnet Day. Beautiful letters and clever language come together in one celebration. It's a celebration. Think of your refrigerator as a celebration of alphabet magnets. Have you ever spent the morning rearranging those alphabet magnets on your fridge when you sip your coffee? Maybe you send a message to the kids or something.
Never.
Yeah,
Now,
I haven't
now,
either.
of course, they have video screens
Oh, sure.
on the doors. So
Oh, yeah, it's all
these
high
refrigerators.
tech.
Now you can leave
got
a
it.
message that way
Yeah,
and get
that's
rid of the
right.
magnets forever and
Sure.
make that day obsolete.
Why not? Why
Could we?
not? I think we should. Let's see. What's next on the big list? Oh, sleeper day. Sleepover day. When was the last time you had a sleepover at your place, John? The boys ever invite
God.
some other kids to sleep over? Do a sleepover
Maybe a
thing?
girlfriend.
Yeah, oh, really?
Or two.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, look out. National Sleepover Day provides an opportunity once again for
Yeah.
girls. This is just honing in on girls. I guess they eliminate the boys having any sleepovers. Girls to confide in their friends in a way that can be inspiring, therapeutic, and confidence building. What?
When was the last time you heard two
Sleepovers.
guys say, "Hey, you want to come over for a sleepover?"
Guess it doesn't happen much.
No, it really doesn't
I don't
happen.
know. Yeah, I can't remember anything
Yeah.
like that. Sleepovers play an important role in friendships and memory making. It's a time for women and girls to share stories and realize
think?
the more we're different, the more we're alike.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, there you
All
go.
right.
That really explains
See,
it.
we don't, here we sit, three guys. We have no idea what sleepovers are.
Kind of confused
all
at
about.
first, but now I understand what
They
a
show-
sleepover is.
They show a picture of some girls having a pillow fight. So I guess that's also part of a sleepover. That's a
See,
that's
they
a
can
big
say
event.
it without
They can
feeling
do
a little
that.
guilty, right?
Yeah, I
but
guess.
guys can't say it because
No.
it sounds strange.
We've got a couple of more days on the National Day calendar to get to here,
Oh, God,
but
do we
we're
really?
up against the clock. I know.
Oh, no.
I know.
Well, that's too
I tried to
bad.
get them all in here in the first segment, but we've got Butterscotch Brownie Day coming up.
You
We can
think
salute
that's
the Butterscotch
self-explanatory?
Brownie. I guess so.
Okay.
Lost Sock Memorial Day, though. That's coming
That's
up
good.
on the John
We'll
and
have to
Gordy
check that
Show.
one out.
We're going to check out Lost Sock Memorial Day. All those lost socks in the dryer. Yeah. It's a day to celebrate.
On the home front.
Yeah.
Yep. Mad Radio.
Yeah.
WMDX. 92.7 FM. 1580 AM. In the capital city, Madison.
Get up off of that thing and dance to you feel better. Get up off of that thing and dance to you.
Sing it
now.
together.
Get up off of that thing.
There you go.
And dance to you feel better.
Get it.
Get up off of that thing. Try to release that pressure. Get up.
The John and Gordy Show. On a beautiful Thursday morning, wet, rainy, umbrellas, windshield wipers, the whole thing. It's
53
a
degrees.
complete picture.
It's cool out there.
Let's get to this weird day.
National Lost Sock Memorial Day. May 9th recognizes a fun and unique holiday, National Lost Sock Memorial Day. It's time to say goodbye to all those single socks, the ones where their mates have been lost to the unknown.
Oh, no.
Where
That's
do
so
all
sad.
those missing socks go anyway? We've never heard a comedy routine like this, have
No.
we? Every stand-up in the world has talked about, I don't know
What
where the
happens
socks
to
go. I
those
put them in the dryer. Okay.
And they have a good comeback for that.
Is there a washing machine heaven? This is a question people have been trying to solve for many centuries.
Yes.
An answer
Been
may
going on a
never
long
be
time.
found to this problem. Life will go on. How sad to have lost such a close-knit friend.
So-
See
so-
what they did there at the close-knit? Okay.
So what do we do with the lonely, lost socks that remain?
Throw them out. I don't know. Use them for rags or something. I guess. I don't know.
Well, I thought maybe this
Oh.
day would help us out with that.
Well, we've got it right here. How to observe Lost Sock
Yes.
Memorial Day. Reminds you that it's time to move on. Let go of those lost socks.
Well,
Just
there's an
let go
answer.
of them.
We
Just
we kind of
have a little memorial service.
My God.
Clean out all your left behind socks. Some ways to celebrate this unusual holiday include making sock puppets. Turn them into dust rags. Choose to never wear matched socks again. Turn them into chew toys for pets. Make wrist warmers. Make sock monkeys. Fill them with beans and use them for your
Oh, no.
cornhole game.
Oh no! Yes,
That's what you want to
always
do.
playing that game.
Fill with rice to make a doorstop.
Yeah.
Okay. Open up both ends of a long sock and make a plastic bag holder. What? How does that work?
Plastic bag
I
holder.
don't get that. All right. So that's it for the National Day calendar days today.
I have to say that I've
Lost
given up.
Sock Memorial Day.
I've given up on trying to match socks. So I'm
Really?
part of this.
Really?
Yeah, I've actually mixed and matched socks. No one looks. No one cares.
You know, I try to get it at least close to matching.
That's right.
You know, I'm colorblind.
You're colorblind, so it
I
makes it a little more difficult.
Well,
but-
I just try to buy black socks. that makes it easier.
I was going to say, unless you're out there buying yellow and red socks.
Green socks, gray socks. No, I have some dress socks that are different colors. But yeah, what?
Speaking of yellow and red,
Well, what? Oh,
CNN host is wearing those
Kate
colors
Baldwin,
today. Yes.
Boudouin or whatever her name is. She's wearing a McDonald's
McDonald's
costume today.
outfit today.
It's all yellow and red. It's very psychedelic.
Very fun.
I think she must be microdosing while she's on the air. Everything she wears is psychedelic early in the morning.
Yeah.
It's freaking me out, man.
It's very 60s.
Can't take it. Can't take it. Sam, let's open the history books here. Why don't we do that?
Get the sound for me.
Here we go.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. It sounds like you're just hitting the mic again. Gotta work on that.
Okay. All right.
Let's take a look here.
Let's take a look.
Buffalo Bill's Wild West Show.
Yeah.
Yeehaw.
Opened today in 1887.
All right.
Yeehaw, the Wild
It's like
West.
a rodeo thing, right?
Yeah, well, kind of.
Sort
It's,
of.
like a mix of a circus, a rodeo, and variety show, a freak show. It's all sorts of stuff.
I think
Or
I
was
went
all
to
sorts of stuff.
Cody. I think in Cody, Wyoming, I went there one time, and that was where I think that's where Buffalo Bill had the Wild West show to begin with. Yeah, they had a big museum there. It was kind of cool.
They still have that museum.
Do they?
Yeah.
You been there
Yeah.
too?
Oh, yeah. Been there. Done that.
I remember
Okay.
seeing signs for it in the fields of South Dakota where there's nothing else.
Right?
There's corn.
There's
There's corn,
nothing
and there's
else.
the interstate, and there's nothing else.
And what's the drugstore they always have painted on the
Wall drug.
wall drug? Yeah.
I have a bumper sticker for it on my car.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got the new John and Gordy bumper sticker on
I
there.
do.
I see that. Too.
Come to the night market tonight, and you can maybe get a John and Gordy bumper sticker.
Maybe.
It's holding that side of the bumper on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. 1914, the first Mother's Day was proclaimed by President Woodrow Wilson.
Okay. Mother's Day.
Yeah. A side note: the founder of Mother's Day later grew to hate it because it got commercialized so much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she just wanted it to be a day to spend with your moms.
That's true.
Turned into a Hallmark holiday.
Yeah, exactly. 1958, Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo appears in theaters.
What a great movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I still haven't seen it. It's on my watch list.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
You'll like it.
And 1960, the FDA approves the first birth control pill.
1960.
Yeah, way back when. And now they're still going after. People are still going after
I
it.
don't know. Maybe they should check and see if they did enough testing for the birth control.
Yeah, it
pill.
hasn't been long enough,
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
Got a few birthdays here. Are you familiar with John Brown?
Boy, I don't
John
know.
Brown's
John Brown.
He was an abolitionist.
Okay, yeah.
And what his claim to fame is that he led basically a slave rebellion in the 1850s.
Okay,
like an
yeah.
armed. He gave a bunch of guns to a bunch of slaves and tried to fight against the Southerners.
Yeah.
Way
Okay.
before the Civil War started.
Wasn't there a children's song?
I think there is a song. I was just
Yes,
thinking
there
that.
is.
Yeah.
Elementary school, we used to sing it.
Yeah, John Brown something. Yeah.
John
Way
Brown
back.
will go marching on, I believe.
John
Okay.
Br-
Something like that.
John Brown's body.
Yeah. I don't know.
But something. But his soul will go marching on.
Yeah,
It's to the
something like that.
Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Okay.
I put
What
this
else?
name on here. I'm trying to remember because I thought you guys would recognize it. Mike Wallace.
Well, sure.
Sure, Mike Waltz. I was trying to think of his name yesterday.
Yeah. He was on the original 60 Minutes.
That's
he's
right.
he's one of the great interviewers.
But he had
always
shows
that
before
follow-up
that.
question, follow.
Yeah.
He didn't let go.
Never let go. Yeah, Mike Wallace. He had shows before 60 Minutes. That
Yeah.
were pretty, I think Person to Person, or no, not one. Let's see. I can't remember that, but way
Well,
back in the
one
50s
of the great
and 60s.
interviewers.
Yeah. Of course, Chris Wallace, his son.
Chris sadly went to Fox News to destroy his career immediately.
Right?
But he's a great interviewer as well.
He is. Yeah, but he's not on very much.
No,
now he's on CNN.
He's
I think.
all over the place. I'm never quite sure when his show is on.
Well, they tried to make sort of a personality show for him.
Yeah.
And it didn't
work
in
out.
CNN.
Yeah.
Who else has a birthday today?
And that's
John,
it, right?
John, you're gonna love this one.
Do you have a
no,
song?
No, that's not it.
Do you have a song for this?
I just thought to cue one up right now when you guys were talking.
All right.
Okay.
Guess whose birthday it is, John?
John
Just take a
Peterson's
wild
birthday?
guess.
Billy Joel's
Billy
birthday.
Joel,
He
your
was born
favorite
today in
piano player.
1949.
You love this guy.
No,
so
no,
much.
don't.
What?
No.
What song we got?
He's the piano man.
Piano Man. Of course. Yeah, keep it playing.
Don't interrupt this like CBS did.
This is such a great song. It's a classic. Hit it.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling alright.
Kind of miss those days
Yeah.
at piano bars.
Oh, I
Just
know.
listen to the piano man.
Coming up a little while, we're going to replay that Stephanie Miller interview. Of course, she's going to be at the Barrymore Theater Saturday night. We'll be there. Hope you'll see you there, too.
Hope so.
Okay.
right,
It's all
we'll check
coming
that
up
out.
on John and Gordy.
For a Saturday,
Oh, yeah, Saturday.
and the manager gives me a smile. 'Cause he knows that it's me they've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while.
the Civic Media Mothership, it's the John and Gordy Show.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Mouthwash Cola Soda Pop, the all-new soda pop that cleans your breath while it rots your teeth.
Stephanie Miller is with us. How you doing, Stephanie?
I am ready to come to Madison, Wisconsin, which is where, as Bill O'Reilly told us long ago, where those people worship Satan. So
That's
they are
right.
my people.
Well, we understand that the sexy liberal part of your stage show is kind of originated here in Madison. Is that right?
It was actually the whole idea, like the unions, was born in Madison. We at the time, you guys, we were trying to recall Scott Walker and the Republican 8.
Exactly.
You know, and we were so, like, all of us up in arms about what they were doing to workers' rights.
Right.
That it started as a joke. Like, I had Hal Sparks and John Fugelsang on the show, and we said we should go do a show and in Madison and raise money for the recall Scott Walker and the Republican 8, and the Barrymore sold out in one day.
Wow.
Like, we just thought, oh, maybe we'll just go try this. And so that's when it started, like literally 13 years ago. And obviously we've been back to the Barrymore many times. It feels like our home, you know? And so, and it's always just such a party in Madison. We love it so much. So we are, and this time it's kind of a big deal. We're sponsored by Live Nation. It's a big 15-city tour. We've already been to Minneapolis and Philadelphia, and Madison is up next, and then on to Albuquerque and on and on. So it's really been, we called the last one the Save Democracy Tour, and now we're calling this one the Save the World Tour.
A little bit bigger. A little bit bigger.
It's true.
More at stake.
Because, well, I mean, guys, I'm sure you hear this too, that people that travel anywhere in the world, people are more terrified than we are, almost, that Donald Trump could get back in.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's almost a bizarro world, really. I mean, Trump going out there and saying that now there's a war on anti-white racism.
Oh, my God.
That's a little bit too much.
Frangela had some thoughts on that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they will on stage in Madison. I mean, he's running as a white supremacist, period. And, I know that, obviously University of Wisconsin is a big deal there.
Yeah.
These campus protests, I keep saying on the air, John and Gordy, no matter, whatever your issue is, I promise you, Donald Trump and the Republican Party are anti-Semitic and anti-Muslim. So whoever you hate, there's a home for you in the Republican Party. If you believe love trumps hate, then you're with us. You're with the Democrats. You're with the sexy liberals. Sexy liberals started as a joke. Yeah. Like, we didn't mean us. We meant that, we meant the audience. We meant it's sexy to be liberal. It means you're open-minded. It means you're, open-hearted. You believe in equal rights for everybody.
Right.
We were saying today, what is all this crap about anti-woke? I can't figure out, like, woke to me means don't be a jerk to people that are different than you. Don't call black people the N-word. Don't call gay men the F-word. Don't be a jerk. Don't punch down. Isn't that what woke is?
Pretty much.
It's just that simple, yeah.
When you're woke, you kind of notice things around you, and when you're asleep, you don't.
Yeah.
So, Stephanie,
I mean, you guys there, we have a great, we've had a great sponsor. Woke Coffee is a great company based there. Minocqua Brewing.
Yes.
There are companies that also share our values, that believe in the same things we do.
So, Stephanie, for people that are coming to the Barrymore Saturday night, what can they expect from your show? What's going to happen there?
Well, interesting you mention anti-woke, because the leader of the anti-woke party, Donald Trump, is falling asleep and farting in court. And so I can't really get enough of fart jokes and pecker jokes.
I know.
There'll be a lot of that.
The pecker thing was very, very good. Enjoyed that.
for the eighth grade boy and all of us.
Yes, exactly.
Well, there you have it.
But I mean, these news cycles, as you guys know, are so insane that, I mean, literally, there are people that we just talked to one couple today on the air. They've been to 5. They've bought tickets to 5 different sexy liberal shows this year, but because the news cycles are so insane, it's a different show.
That's right.
Pretty much in every city. And also we have different guests. We're so excited. We have Representative Mark Pocan and John Nichols of the Nation as our celebrity guests in Madison.
How does that happen?
There's always like
what are they going to do during the show?
We do. You know, it's primarily John and Gordy. It's a fantastic comedy show. I maintain John Fugelsang, Hal Sparks, Frangela are the smartest, funniest comedians in the country.
Absolutely.
And so it's a great comedy show. But then at the end of the show, we do, you know, about 20 minutes. It depends on how long. 20 minutes, 30 minutes depends. We do panel at the end of the show, and that's where our special guests join us. And there's always a local flavor. You know, Valerie Plame is going to join us next in Albuquerque, but in Madison, you know that nobody has written and talked about your issues better than John Nichols in the nation.
Right.
And I think Representative Mark Pocan is, you know, just one of the really strong progressive voices in Congress. So I know you guys love him, and we do too. He's been on the radio show. He's done Sexy Liberal before, so we're really thrilled he'll be back.
What about this Boberting thing that I think you, you know, you're perfecting now? And you know, I got to say this: you do it on stage, but I think it's getting into the audience. We know it. We know it's starting to happen in the audience, right?
Yeah, we do. Hal Sparks and I do a Boberting demonstration. Many years ago, it used to be a teabagging demonstration, and now it has morphed because this is your family values party.
It is.
You know.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind if you you objectifies men. Basically, I think that's one of the nicest things you could do for all men. You know, we wouldn't mind being objectified.
Oh, I objectify Hal Sparks and John Fugelsang every.
I see that.
Oh, we know. We listen because you're right after our show. So
I saw some of that on your Instagram. We kind of cruised through that a little bit. Yeah, there's some of that there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is kind of hilarious that Lauren Boebert did that in a theater full of children.
Yes.
This is your family values part.
Exactly.
yes.
Oh my God. One time, one of the first times we were doing the demonstration, Hal Sparks just goes, "Hey kids, look." Made me laugh.
Wow. Yes.
So how are you handling touring while you're doing the radio show? I know you've had a couple of guest fill-in folks, but so how does that all work?
I'm not. That's how I'm handling it. I'm exhausted. I'm only 2 cities in. No, it is, you know, it is tough. The morning drive schedule, we get up at insane o'clock. And so that's really the main challenge is just my body clock. I'm just such an early person and I'm traveling different time zones. And, you know, the show starts several hours after Grandma's bedtime. So that's hard.
Well, you say you're 11 billion. Is that it? 11 billion years old?
I'm 11 billion. We started this tour 13 years ago.
I like to say.
No, it's you know what's great is that, you know, you guys know this. You look at what you're doing. You're in a little room. You don't know if anybody's laughing, if anybody's, you know, getting what you're doing, if anybody. This the nice thing is, I mean, it really is such a, you know, a loving, beautiful experience. We always joke that I swear I think people come to be with each other more than they do to come to see us anymore. They come to be with like-minded people. So many people have made friends. They've actually like gone alone and made friends at Sexy Liberal and have stayed friends for years, and they get together outside of the tour. And you know, the meet and greet is, you know, we were saying it's the opposite of a Seinfeld episode. There's laughing, there's learning, there's hugging, there's crying. And it's just, you know, it's such a beautiful sort of bonding, because I think we were all exhausted with the chaos of the Trump years, and we all have our own stuff. I have people that come up to me to talk about, you know, their parents' Alzheimer's and death, and, you know, that I just went through and talked about on the air about my mom, and people that have been through divorce and been through, you know, death of a spouse. And, you know, there's a lot of life stuff we're enduring at the same time we're enduring this horrible, scary political time.
I watched the videos of you and your mom. Very touching stuff. Yeah. Love that.
Oh, thank you.
So we just want to remind everybody, it's Saturday night, Madison, Wisconsin, Barrymore Theater. Doors open at 7 o'clock. And Stephanie Miller and the whole gang, 8 o'clock is showtime. And we look forward to seeing you then, Stephanie.
I might even sign some of those Bibles that Fugelsang is selling out in front, you know?
Please. A lot a lot of women want to see his staff and his rod. Let me tell you.
There you go. Perfect. I don't know how you get away with it, but you do.
Yeah. Great stuff.
I'm not. I'm Christine.
You are.
I can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll be at the Barrymore with us.
We
And,
will be there.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
Maybe even introduce you on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be nice.
Yeah.
Very
I
good.
like the sound of men opening for me. It sounds dirty.
You just made it sound better.
Yes. Thank you, Stephanie. We'll see you Saturday night.
Thanks, John. Thanks,
All
Gordy.
right. Thank you.
That is going to be a fun show.
Yeah.
Saturday night, Barrymore Theater. 8
It's a
o'clock.
lot of fun.
She is. Yeah. Again, doors open at 7. We'll be there. Hope to see you there as well. And yesterday, I found this from John Fugelsang. He'll be a part of the show, too.
All right.
Let's listen to this.
All right.
He's
Hey, I'm
talking-
John Fugelsang, and as part of my parole and work release, I'm performing with Stephanie Miller's Sexy Liberal Save the World comedy tour. This weekend, we are at the Barrymore Theater in Madison, Wisconsin, with Hal Sparks, Frangela, and our special guest, John Nichols of the Nation, and Congressman Mark Pocan. It's a great theater. All the big music and comedy acts have played there. Bob Dylan rehearsed a tour there, and I was talking once with Nick Offerman about how much we hate people who name drop. He told me he heard the Barrymore used to be a porno cinema back in the 70s. So you have my firm promise, Madison. We will do all we can do to restore this theater to its filthy and degrading glory. Go to sexyliberal.com or livenation.com. We'll see you there. And if you're not there, then it's all rigged and there's going to be a bloodbath.
Yes.
Fugelsang.
good stuff.
He is funny.
Wow.
He's really good.
All right.
Yeah.
Taking the Barrymore back to its beginnings.
Should be fun.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Guess
All
we'll be
right.
there, right? We'll
Yeah.
be hanging out in the lobby for a little while.
That's right.
Until they
Till
get
they
tired
kick
of us.
us. Till they start making us make some popcorn and
Yeah.
sweeping the floors.
Sweep
and
the
stuff.
floor,
Yeah.
clean up
Yeah.
after
We'll be there.
everybody goes in.
All right.
I agree.
Well, yeah. Saturday night, Barrymore Theater. Still a few tickets left, but you better hurry if you want to go Saturday.
All right.
Okay?
Okay. All right. Well, I guess,
couple of
it's an exciting time.
It is.
In this town, this big town that we have, this big city that
Right.
we're rolling into. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, tonight, the Madison Market, Madison Night Market, first one this evening.
Yes.
That starts at.
Hope it's not rained out, right?
Well, you know.
Does it get rained out? Can it be rained out?
I don't. You're asking me. I have no idea.
You're
I
in
don't
control
think
of all these
no,
things.
I think the rain is supposed to be done around 3 or 4 o'clock, so it'll be close, but should be out of here by this evening. We'll be here right outside the station.
All right.
We'll have our set up there, and you can stop by. We'll have a few things. We may hand out some T-shirts and some things like that. But
right.
Madison Night Market from 5 till 9 this evening.
That's fantastic.
Downtown.
I cannot wait for that.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of stuff coming up this morning still.
Yes.
We've got John Nichols, our special guest, at about
Yes.
7:35. It's about time we
Times.
talk to him. He's been down there looking at the protest, watching the protest, the encampment.
Right. We were
on the
down there as
Library
well.
Mall.
We saw him as
Yes.
we were kind of walking
Yes.
around, but he was off in the distance.
But he might have gone down there after. I have not been down there since we originally went to see the action.
Right.
But
It was a week ago Wednesday. We were
yeah,
down there.
it's a long time now that they've had the encampment, and it's a long time since the president of the UW, Jay Rothman, has asked that the police go in and crack a few skulls. So,
Well, you think
yeah,
they're
you can
gearing
tell
up to
he's
do it?
listening to the students, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not taking the students seriously, and I think that's rather insulting. And
Do we know if they've been still talking,
they
negotiating?
have been talking.
Okay.
Yes.
Hopefully John Nichols will know a little bit more
Yes.
and see
On
where
top
things
of that.
stand. Yeah. Okay.
We will see.
Yeah. And also, we're going to get into coming up. This story broke yesterday about RFK Jr. and the brain worm.
Yes.
This whatever it was, some parasite got into his head somehow. And apparently, this is a thing. I never heard anything about this ever. But they started talking about there's a special medical term for what he has or what he had. This parasite got into his brain and then died, and then it apparently has some effect on his memory. He was talking about how he's lost some short-term and long-term memory, and all this came out, I guess, from a deposition that he had to do in 2011,
right?
From what I understand. So we'll get into that a little bit later on.
Yeah, I put a special little feature together in regards to that.
You're listening to the John and Gordy Show. Coming right back.
WMDX 92.7 FM and 1580 AM. You really want to do a little bit of Austin Powers this morning.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why Austin Powers?
Because that's the music from Austin Powers movie.
Okay. And?
Well, you want to do a little bit of that dance that he does. First thing.
Okay.
Come on, man. Doing the Austin Powers.
Okay. We were talking just a moment ago about RFK Jr. and this revelation that he had worms in his head, in his brain.
Getting a call from your doctor telling you that you have a dead worm in your brain that ate part of it, that's something you don't get every day, right?
Yeah, we just got a text in. Are you going to play the clip from Pink Floyd's The Wall where it says, and the worms ate into his brain?
I did not remember that, but that's fantastic. Yeah, it would have been good.
All right.
I don't have that ready.
No.
But I do have this from Morning Joe. Let's play the introduction to this. They seem caught by surprise over this information.
All right.
See what it is.
There's a New York Times story. This is real. That just posted under Suzanne Craig's byline. We know her well. Operating off of a deposition given by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. some years ago, relaying how that in 2010, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. experienced memory loss and mental fogginess so severe that people thought he might be sick. He went in for scans. They found a dark spot on the brain. And the belief is, Mr. Kennedy says anyway, that there's a dead parasite in his brain. Meaning, I quote from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here, the abnormality, quote, was caused by a worm that got into my brain and ate a portion of it and then died. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. suggesting that a worm ate some of his brain and then died while there. We'll have more on this developing story.
What in the world?
This happens usually, Willie. This happens with livestock, right? But this is something.
I mean,
you know what? There you go. He should have had some of that stuff. That may have helped him, right, Willie?
Was ivermectin?
Yes,
the ivermectin.
Oh, yeah. No, this is a real story.
I know. I mean, it seems funny.
That's pretty wild, isn't it?
I guess this is a thing. I've never heard of it
before. So what we should do is, we should elect a guy who has bad memory and a brainworm. Okay. Well, anyway. It kind of reminds me of an old bad 60s film.
Yeah.
He's the presidential candidate who faced this previously undisclosed health issue, a parasite eating his brain.
Yes.
What is it?
I don't know. Ejected from unexplored secret stratus, this giant, harder than steel piston disgorges strange creatures, inundating our world, twisting the emotions of women, distorting our men.
Reflex action like a snake. Cut a snake in half and the two pieces go off in different directions.
These things take over a man's mind. He becomes a A robot? A machine taking orders? Join the hunt for the hiding place of terror.
Yes.
Find the breeding place of these globs of destruction.
In the brain.
It's an adventure that'll burst your blood vessels with suspense. See The Brain Eaters.
Brain eaters.
Oh, God.
Oh, man, that's high tension right there.
So this condition is known as neurocysticercosis, or something close to that. It's a brain infection linked to larvae. I don't know. From pork tapeworms. Pork tapeworm.
Yeah.
It's rare. It hospitalizes roughly 1,000 to 2,000 people every year in the U.S. It can cause seizures, headaches, blindness, blurred vision, dizziness, psychosis, or memory loss.
You just thought it was a warning, cook that pork. Make sure it's thoroughly cooked, or else you get those brain worms. We were warned back when we were kids. Yes. Who knew there was something worse than a musical earworm?
Ugh, that's awful. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's I don't.
I do like
what can
that.
you do with that?
I don't know. You just kind of you run with it and you say, "Hey, fantastic."
Well, now I wonder how this is going to affect his presidential campaign. Now is that
well, now that he's
issue?
walking around with brain worms?
Well, we've all noticed that he used to be a really good environmental lawyer.
Yeah,
I mean, and he was on MSNBC,
but he's seeing crazy things now.
Well, yeah,
really unusual
and
things.
his family has pretty much disowned
him at this point.
And don't want to have anything to do with him or his campaign.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe this is the way for him to get out gracefully.
Let's also get to something very strange and unusual. This is Mike Johnson. He made an announcement yesterday, and everybody's kind of railing on him now. In fact, it's become a Twitter meme, and I just thought we'd play this. As Cut 51.
Okay.
It's funny just because conceptually, intuitively, he's bringing this certain issue up. Let's listen how he describes this here.
Okay.
So actually, on the first question, I mean, the answer is that it's unanswerable. That is the problem. States are not allowed right now to prove, if somebody claims on that simple form that they're a citizen, they can vote. They're not allowed to prove whether it's true or not. Right. We all know intuitively that a lot of illegals are voting in federal elections, but it's not been something that is easily provable. We don't have that number. This legislation will allow us to do exactly that. It will prevent that from happening. And if someone tries to do it, it will now be unlawful, and the states will have a mechanism to prove whether they are or not. And to suggest that this is some sort of revenge tour is kind of a silly notion.
Well, that's not exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about immigration, and we're talking about illegals voting in our elections, which isn't happening at all. But, it's intuitively, we know it is happening.
Intuitively.
Yeah.
Although there's no
that's
evidence.
The meme. Intuitively.
Well, and yesterday...
and it'll stop this intuitive problem from happening. If we could
it's all about intuition.
If we had all the paperwork and made sure that people had their papers.
Mm-hmm. Sam?
What's the rest of the tweet that was on that story? I think that was the better chunk of this.
Charles Pierce. He does articles. I can't remember what magazine. Anyway, he wrote this. This was his answer to this little meme. We all know intuitively that Mike Johnson has a freezer full of human heads in his basement, but it's not something that is easily provable. See, you could just take this forever on, and there were just endless amounts of tweets in regards to this. Intuitively, we just know this is happening.
Well, right. Yeah,
we don't have any proof, and we can't
prove it all. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene tried to unseat Mike Johnson yesterday and got booed off the stage.
Booed by Republicans.
Yes,
fantastic.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. All right. Coming up, we're going to be talking with our special guest from the Capital Times, John Nichols. Stay with us on the John and Gordy Show.
John and Gordy in the morning. As we were saying, let the sunshine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
Hi, what's up?
Don Peterson.
Young.
The Stone Age didn't end because of a shortage of stones.
So how do you say croissant in French?
Go yourself.
You are correct, sir.
Here they are. It's John and Gordy.
Just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you.
Mad Radio, WMDX, 92.7 FM at 1580 AM. Hope you're having a very good morning. Check us out on social media as well. We're just about everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you can even watch us at some of those places. You can get us on the Civic Media app. You can text us or give us a call automatically just by pushing one single button.
That's it.
It's that easy.
It is.
So we want to hear from you. This is an interactive program. That's why we're local. That's why we have our own telephone number. We want to hear from you.
And named by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association as the third best morning show in the state. It's the John and Gordy Show.
Unbelievable.
For a Thursday
can't
morning.
believe it.
Yeah, I know.
Here
We're
we
still
are,
in
the
shock
third
on
best.
that. Yeah. We're stunned by that news.
And
did you get a certificate, by the way? Did you get a piece of paper or anything?
I have
on
not
this?
seen any.
Me,
You know, they
haven't seen it.
Somebody here walked away with it.
Somebody
and
has it.
I
We
thought
don't
we'd
know.
have something to put on the walls,
Yeah,
right?
maybe. Well,
in
that
here,
would be nice.
you know, right in front of the Devils, so they can see that right there.
Why would you bring that up?
Big friends. Big friends.
Everybody's good here. Come on.
I know.
We're all in the same
Everybody,
boat.
we're in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
Same one. But no. That's okay.
Yes.
You know
what?
Look, we're all friends here, aren't we?
We're all pulling for the same side. We're all on the same team here. You know, we don't want dictatorship. We want democracy.
We're all trying to save this sinking ship.
Okay, Sam.
So you mean the nation? The
yes,
the nation is
talking about
ship,
not
the
civic
state.
media, not civic media, the country.
Okay.
All right, there. Just to clarify.
Let's move on.
Let's move on to Joe Biden's big visit to Sturtevant. Yesterday, big announcement, right?
Yeah.
Big announcement.
It was
Microsoft's planned development of a multi-billion-dollar AI data center right here in Wisconsin. We're going to control the minds of everyone.
This is
from Wisconsin.
This is huge, really.
It is.
I mean, big news. This was really an enormous announcement that finally they're going to do something with this Foxconn thing, which was a complete disaster by
debacle.
Trump.
Definitely a bad deal.
Yeah.
All right. This was covered on MSNBC last night.
Yeah.
Chris Hayes covered the story. Let's start playing.
Let's get into that.
He doesn't have it?
Wait.
Well, you never put it on the planning doc, and I'm looking just based on name.
Oh, I thought we were
going to
open up with this story. Let's do it. Can you get it? No?
What is it, John?
Chris Hayes. Chris Hayes. This is. Did you title it Chris Hayes?
Yeah. I sent an email to you. It's in email form.
Moments
okay.
Moments ago.
We needed some clarification here.
Yep.
While you were getting coffee, he yelled it down the hallway to you.
Well, a lot of times, we're yelling from this studio into Sam's studio, but he's got the headsets on, queuing up the next event. And he's not listening to us.
Well, he probably just missed the message.
Us,
you weren't clear, and he
didn't.
You're okay. Here it is. Here's Chris Hayes.
We're okay. Let's listen to it.
Perhaps the most egregious example in this crowded field of this came in 2018 when then-President Trump wielded a literal golden shovel for the groundbreaking of what was supposed to be a $10 billion project in Racine, Wisconsin. Trump claimed to have negotiated a deal with Foxconn, the Taiwanese company that manufactures iPhones, among other things, that would bring 13,000 jobs to the state.
We're restoring America's industrial might. And thanks to the hardworking patriots like you, we're making America greater than ever before. It's greater than ever before. To Foxconn and to Terry Go and to all of the amazing Wisconsin workers with us today and all over the state, I want to wish you good luck and congratulations on truly one of the eighth wonder. I think we can say the eighth wonder of the world. This is the eighth wonder of the world.
Can you say that, really? Well, it soon became clear this was all an outrageous, almost comically ludicrous boondoggle.
It was.
As Josh Jezza reported for The Verge in a great bit of investigative reporting, the project defaulted on almost every promise. The factory, the tech campus, and the thousands of jobs simply never materialized. The building Foxconn calls a, quote, LCD factory, about 1/20th of the size of the original plan, is little more than an empty shell. Even the handful of jobs the company claims to have created are less than real. Many of them held by people with nothing to do, hired so the company could reach the number required for it to get tax subsidy payments from Wisconsin.
Can you believe that? That is
Wow.
just amazing. They just brought people in to sit at their desks so they could say, we've hired this many people.
Yeah.
Now let's get that money
Right.
from our politicians who promised that money to us. It was a con, Foxconn, all the way. And I just said, just a little note on this. Corning, I think it was Corning that was going to make these screens for Foxconn.
Okay.
Foxconn was counting on Corning to build a plant next to Foxconn so the screens could be easily transported to them. And Corning said, this doesn't work for us. So then Foxconn was just left there alone, and they couldn't do anything at all. And their plans kept shifting and went. Here's the thing: I saw this morning. This is from Robin Voss, our great assembly leader. He wrote this. This is his tweet.
Okay.
Didn't you oppose this investment and vote against the budgets that funded the roads, the bridges, tech colleges, and local government to this happening today? And I wrote back, I think you're to your debacle.
Yeah.
We're bailing you out.
Right.
Okay, let's continue.
And I love when Chris Hayes uses the word boondoggle.
Yes,
it's just,
boondoggle.
it's a good
It's a
word
way
to describe it. Yep.
Let's check it out.
Okay.
He continues.
Employees just sat in their cubicles watching Netflix and playing games on their phones. The whole thing was a fiction. But there was a real idea, embedded somewhere deep in Donald Trump's rhetoric of America First. The idea of a rebellion against the specific version of outsourced globalized capitalism that we'd experienced that really did hit certain sectors of this country very, very hard. And when Joe Biden came to office, he and his team began implementing economic policy that basically asked, what if we took all of that seriously? What if we took seriously the concern that a whole lot of people in this country have been left behind? That the era of outsourcing really did have incredibly damaging effects. What if we tried to change that? So he began with the Infrastructure Act, which has funded over 50,000 projects across all 50 states. The Inflation Reduction Act invested over $350 billion in the climate and clean energy, and it's probably going to surpass that amount, actually. It's been so successful. The CHIPS Act allocates billions of dollars to bring back manufacturing in high-tech semiconductors. And today, coming full circle, President Biden unveiled that real plan for the site of Donald Trump's failed Foxconn project.
Golden shovels.
My predecessor came to Racine with the promise of, quote, reclaiming our country's proud manufacturing legacy. Well, we had infrastructure day every week for 4 years, didn't build a damn thing. Came here with your Senator, Ron Johnson, literally holding a golden shovel, promising to build the 8th wonder of the world. Are you kidding me? Look what happened. They dug a hole with those golden shovels, and then they fell into it. Foxconn turned out to be just that, a con. Go figure.
Yep.
Even Fox and Friends had to admit that Joe Biden has succeeded where Donald Trump failed.
This is sweet. Right here. Listen.
So, Peter, this new AI Microsoft thing, $3 billion, big job creators, that's in Racine. Isn't that the same town that Foxconn said, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, we're going to build a big plant, and they never did?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, and that was a huge Trump announcement back then, and he said that the factory was going to be the 8th wonder of the world, but then Foxconn decided to really scale back their plans, and the land is still available, so Microsoft is going in.
It's going to be good for those people.
Deucey to deucey for the alley-oop dunk. The story of these two plans for Racine, Wisconsin is the story, really, of Donald Trump versus Joe Biden on domestic political economy. Donald Trump's policy was a con job, while Joe Biden and the Democratic Party really have actually undertaken across the entire administrative state, the entire government, legislatively, a very serious, granular project to rebuild America's manufacturing base, to create good paying, often unionized jobs for people across the country, even in and specifically in areas that didn't vote for Joe Biden. And the project is having real results, is succeeding.
Okay.
And it's fantastic
Chris Hayes
stuff.
from MSNBC.
Good coverage, great coverage.
Yeah.
It really is a bailout of what happened before.
Mm-hmm.
All the promises, the eighth wonder, really seriously, the eighth. I think we can call it that. The eighth wonder.
Eighth wonder?
Yeah, why not? Biden highlighted, by the way, his economic successes, saying Wisconsin lost 83,500 jobs under Trump, but gained 178,000 since Biden took office. The Microsoft deal is expected to bring in 2,000 union construction jobs to the area by the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, by the way, the fourth trip to Wisconsin by Biden.
Mm-hmm. And I think Kamala Harris is here next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's going to be, we're going to see a lot of presidential attention here from the candidates, from both Trump and Biden. For the next 5-6 months. Yeah, they're going to be here every other week.
It's important, and of course, this all leads up to the GOP convention.
Sure,
it's amazing.
What?
I'm trying to think of Trump's son. He was going to be graduating.
Barron.
Yeah, no.
Barron von Trump.
He's part of the festivities in Milwaukee.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
What's
he's going to be a part of it.
Is
He's
he
a
going to
delegate
speak?
or something like that. He's going to be one of their delegates.
Oh, well,
there.
good.
Isn't that strange? Yeah. Now, that's really sad because I was hoping that, the son didn't follow in the father's footsteps in regards to this. Sometimes, they don't exactly, meet eye to eye. But the thing with Barron
What about Melania? Is she going to be there?
I don't know.
We haven't seen her for months.
The thing with Barron is, anybody ever see a story or a picture, rather, of him smiling? He looks really gloomy. Every picture I see is just very straight face, gloomy.
Yeah, I don't know.
What is with him?
Well,
you tell me.
I have no idea. What are you talking about? I don't know Barron. I've seen pictures. I know all I know. He's very tall.
Yeah, he's extremely tall.
He keeps growing taller.
And because he's tall, he's scary. It's like a giant Trump, and he's never smiled. Not in any picture that I've seen.
We'll try to troll the internet and see if we can find a picture of him smiling somewhere, anywhere.
All right, yeah, make me happy.
Maybe he's not happy. You ever think of that? 18 past the hour. You're listening to the John and Gordy Show.
WMDX 92.7 FM, 1580 AM.
A rainy day around Madison. We've got some drizzle, some showers, and 53 degrees. highs in the upper 50s.
Yep. And for all those with dial phones, it's 608-879-8255.
You can give us a call or send us a text there.
Yeah.
Get the Civic Media app fired up. You can text us very easily.
A couple of
from
buttons
that.
there for calling and for texting, and that's all you have to do. And then give us a message, and we'll pass it along right here on the air. We've got John Nichols coming up in just a few moments. Can't wait for that. We've got a few questions, and maybe he knows a little bit more about the protest on the encampments.
Yeah, the UW Library Mall. Yeah, still happening.
All right.
Okay.
All right, let's do that. Now, there is something that's going on here in the state, and it's driving me crazy. It's DEI. You know, they've done away with DEI kind of at the UW. It's not like, the UW can get rid of DEI. It's like, we get a lot of, foreign students coming to the university.
Of course.
And so we can't
From all over the world.
We certainly can't sit there and, tell them not to come here now because we don't want diversity. Right?
Right.
It just seems crazy.
Exactly.
So anyway, it's really DEI in this state, the elimination of it, or the attempt to eliminate DEI in the state, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is kind of a futile effort by the Republicans to, I guess, push white nationalism.
Okay.
And that's how I see it. Anyway, that's my opinion.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is.
And Trump is running on the fact that he wants he's battling this anti-white racism that's going on right now. Anti-white racism.
Just okay.
My head explodes thinking about all
we
of
are.
this stuff.
We're back in bizarro world once again. Every day we get we get sucked back into the bizarro world.
Who knew systemic racism vanished overnight somehow?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And now we just have to do away with this DEI thing. It's just ridiculous stuff. Okay, we're going to try a little thing here.
Okay.
Because I know the Republicans hate this DEI thing, so I'm going to add a little sound effect to make this point.
Okay.
All right. There we go. There's a person screaming. And a guy screaming. Okay, we're gonna just use one scream at a time, though. In this little presentation that I have. This is not going to work.
You go ahead, man. It's all
not going to work.
You have the platform.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right.
Tap dance.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's see
where this goes.
All right, let's see how this works. It would be easier if I had the little button that said I could do this, that. All right, here we go. A Wisconsin Republicans audit by the Joint Legislative Audit Committee will go after both the DNR, the Department of Public Instruction, the UW system, and the state's pension fund for DEI. Of course, this is a distraction from the benefits of DEI. Oh, I missed that. There we go. So Republicans can rant about the money spent on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Three of the most horrifying words threatening Republican white nationalism in Wisconsin, because that's what they're pushing, I think, anyway.
Yes,
that's my opinion.
I agree with your opinion once again. Why do you keep looking over at me like I...
Well, now we're facing each other, so I am looking at you all the time.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Remember this guy, Senator Eric Wimberger.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
Eric
right,
Wimberger,
state senator.
Okay.
As we face the rise of white nationalism and his almost comical words of mind-numbing projection, saying that Governor Tony Evers is using DEI to divide Wisconsinites into identity groups against each other, and was ethnic nationalism. So he's accusing Evers of what Republicans are doing, dividing Wisconsinites into identity groups by talking about and trying to eliminate DEI in the state. The white outrage. You got to fight that anti-white racism like Trump has ordered them to do. Now, Evers won't back down, saying we're going to be doing DEI in our agencies anyway, creating inclusive environments that are free from bias. And that really does sound awful, doesn't it? I mean, creating an inclusive environment, free from bias. I don't know. How does that work?
I don't know.
Well, that's an experiment
like
that
a
I
good
don't think the
idea.
Republicans want to take a chance on.
No, they don't want to do that. No.
So I don't know, this white racism thing, white nationalism.
Yeah.
Robin Voss came right out and said it.
What did
although
he
the guy
say?
this guy doesn't see color, remember, right?
Yeah, he's colorblind.
He can't help bringing it up all the time. This is what he said, and I don't have a clip for this, but I'm just going to say it for him. Okay.
All right.
Voss said he wanted to review to zero in our agencies that boost candidates of color during their hiring process. He wanted the review to zero out agencies that boost candidates of color during their hiring procedures. Now, that sounds very racist to me.
It does, yes.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Candidates of color, we don't want to boost them. No, we don't want them.
No.
Right?
Mm-mm.
Again,
gotta
white
be
nationalism,
fair.
anti-white racism that he's been ordered to take up by our candidate for president.
That guy.
What?
The great orange one.
I'm trying to think of the Don Snorleone. There we go.
Don Snorleone.
We don't want to say his name here
No.
on the show. We have, by the way, we have avoided talking about Don Snorleone.
Yeah, that guy.
For a long time now.
I know.
And
We're
I
trying
feel-
to just, why? I mean, there's no reason to talk. I mean, it's just been talked to death. Everybody's sick of it.
Yeah, the trials, right?
Yes, the trials.
Now,
It's just-
imagine they talked about all these trials,
Yeah.
and now they're all being delayed.
They're all being delayed,
All
except
of that talk
except
for
the
nothing.
Stormy Daniels one.
Yes.
That one is going to go through.
Exactly.
But then it'll get appealed, and then that'll get kicked down the
Exactly.
road. We know they're not going to. What are they going to avoid appealing that? Of course, they're going to appeal that and throw more, junk in the gears to slow everything down past
Exactly.
the election.
Well, it's kind of a shoe-in. I mean, this one is going to go.
Yeah, you
And,
think so?
he's going to be penalized for this, definitely. And all the other cases that came up through, I thought the buried headline was the fact that Trump actually had control of a media
You
source.
said his name.
Oh, put a penny in the old jar there.
Okay.
Okay. Again, we're not going to do the dimes anymore.
No,
right?
down to pennies.
Yes.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah, they're not going to.
then yeah.
What? Where were we? Where were we on this? Oh, yeah. These trials are not going to amount to anything, as it
amount
turns
to
out.
anything, and they're going to keep talking about them, and it's taking up all the space where we could talk about what Biden has done to the economy, how great the economy is running right now, and opposed to all the polls that say people aren't keeping up to date on all of this stuff, which is crazy, insane. I have a story on that.
Okay.
And we'll look at that in just a moment.
Plus, coming up, our special guest, John Nichols from the Capital Times on the John and Gordy Show.
That's right.
You hear us now, John?
Hello, John.
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, John? This is John.
I sure can. How are you, brother?
Excellent. Oh, real well. Real well. It's good talking to you again.
Well, it's a pleasure. I'm glad to be on with you.
It has been a long, long time.
Oh, you know. Lots going on.
Big question. Are you still doing interviews with Sly?
Oh yeah.
Is that a regular
we-
thing that you
he
do
does-
with him?
Sure, pretty often. He does a podcast, and I mean, it's I shouldn't say you ask if it's regular. It's kind of irregular, but relatively often. Usually, maybe every other week, something like that.
All right. Is he working at WIBA yet, or do you know?
I think he still does a little bit. I know he does a little bit. I don't think it's as much, because I think he's in the process of doing. Yeah, he does a lot of stuff, and I think he's doing pretty well. But I do think he's changed a lot of his work that he did. I think he still does a little bit down with the station in Monroe as well.
Yeah, he's still
he does
there.
Quite a bit down there.
Are you talking about Sly?
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out here for a second.
What was the way back when you and we were doing the election at TDY?
Sure.
And and the attorney professor at the UW, what was his name? I'm trying to think of his name.
And tell me about which one. I'm trying to think back. Was it Ben Joel Rogers?
No, it wasn't. It was a very outgoing, very strong-willed professor at the UW, conservative.
John Sharpless.
Sharpless, yes, John Sharpless. Yeah, he was part of our little group. Yeah. Haven't heard from him in a long time.
I think Sharpless is retired now, but very solid fella.
Yeah.
And he was interesting because he ran for Congress a couple times and did quite well. He obviously didn't win, but he was a very competitive candidate back in the days when Republicans could do okay in this region.
Yeah.
Which tells you that it was a very long time ago.
Except for the guy that ran for public superintendent. What was his name? It was a total disaster. Oh, boy.
No, there's quite a few.
But the last worst one.
Is,
what was it?
Well, I'd be hard pressed.
He had a horrible agenda.
They've and basically the Republicans have been running. It might have been Don Pridemore.
Pridemore's what a disaster.
1 minute or so till we're on.
you nailed it.
The Republicans have run in those jobs. The odd part is that they no longer even really, try for a mainstream agenda. They're going very right wing on pretty much everything.
Exactly.
Hey, John, this is Gordy Young. I'm also in the interview
That's right.
here. And,
hey, Gordy, it's good to hear your voice.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about the Library Mall encampment first, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
And I think we've got, how much time we have for this? 15 minutes?
50 minutes.
Yeah. So please feel free to expound.
20 seconds.
Okay. We're coming up in 20.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Well, that's what we say, too, before each and every show.
It's live.
All right. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have some fun here. Okay.
Okay. I look forward to it.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Decoffeinated Caffeine. For people who like feeling nervous and wide awake, but hate running to the bathroom all the time.
Matt Radio, WMDX, 92.7 FM and 1580 AM, and all over your social media dial. You can be watching us right now on Twitter X or on Facebook, on YouTube. We're all over.
Everywhere.
You can go to the Civic Media app and just click on the text or call buttons, and you can get through and give us a message.
Yeah. And we welcome our special guest, John Nichols. He's with the Cap Times, associate editor of Cap Times. Good morning, John.
Good morning. It's good to be with you both.
How long have you been with the Cap Times, anyway?
Oh, about 30 years.
Yeah,
That's all.
A long
That's
time.
all.
You can get the Cap Times
30
online,
years.
and they've got great stories there, and put a little money in their pocket. They're asking for it. Okay.
That's what people always are.
Yeah. We went down to the Library Mall as well to check out the protest, the small encampment that they had at the time, and they were breaking it up at about 9 o'clock. I saw you down there.
Yeah, this was about a week ago Wednesday,
about a
right?
week ago or so. And what has transpired since then? Have you kept track of what's going on? I know the encampment is much larger now.
Yeah, well, it was the university's attempt to shut it down was a disaster for the university. It was very ill thought. The fact of the matter is that the encampment is it's a protest very much in the tradition of the University of Wisconsin. And the interesting thing about the University of Wisconsin is it's always proud of its protests after the fact. Now they have big symposiums on the Vietnam protests. They even have a plaque on Bascom Hall honoring Professor Ely and the sifting and winnowing tradition, which was rooted in protest back in the 1890s. So as I said, they're always proud of protests in the past, but at the time they get upset. And so they tried to break this one up. But within hours, the tents were back. And now the encampment is quite large. I stopped by it last night coming back from something on the west side.
Okay.
And there were hundreds of people there, and they were doing some talks and some symposiums. We saw it the other night. They honored Holocaust Remembrance Day and had a number of Jewish professors giving talks. So there's something. Most days there's something, some big activity that draws a lot of people. And then I guess I don't know how many folks you'd say were there overnight, but it's I would say certainly dozens, maybe 100.
Well, there are agitators, and I never saw such a strong focus on agitators before in order to, I guess, have an excuse to break up a lot of these protests, these peaceful protests, and distracting from the message of the protesters. Instead, they're going after the distractors, and they're also using an excuse to keep the students safe. They're very safe. In a peaceful protest, at this point, they're very, very safe. So all of these excuses fall flat as far as I'm concerned. And hearing the president of the UW, Jay Rothman, just discount their message completely and say it's impossible. It's a national, it's a foreign policy matter. You don't have anything to do with it. He must have forgotten about the Vietnam protests. That was
and the anti-apartheid protests, which in many ways is very parallel to the anti-apartheid protests of the 1980s, which were very large and also had sometimes at campuses around the country had encampments like this, things of this nature. And as regards Mr. Rothman, I mean, look, I don't think he's particularly in touch with, what's going on the campus, or frankly, it's sort of sad to see somebody who's I think I don't know the man, but my sense is that he's trying his hardest to be on top of things, but he clearly didn't know what was going on, and some of his comments that he made were, I guess, for lack of a better term, embarrassing, because they suggested a lack of knowledge of kind of the dynamics of what was going on the ground there, which, as you suggest, is quite peaceful, but also a lack of understanding of the university system's history. And it's really important to understand that there's a tradition of protest, not just on the UW campus in Madison, but also on campuses around the state. If you go back to the 1960s, certainly the anti-war protests were everywhere. But if you go to the 1980s as an example, you saw anti-apartheid protests on many campuses around the state, including Milwaukee. And so, it's sort of sad to hear Rothman, but it's not. He's not the only one. The truth of the matter is that there are many administrators around the country who seem to have moved into a new place. It's like they're so upset about any sort of dissent, any sort of protest, that they lose sight of the tradition of these campuses. right, of campuses across the country. And part of that tradition is young people, whether you agree with them or not, trying to save the world, trying to do the right thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I looked up the history of universities, and it goes back to the 12th century, where it became something unto its own. The king declared universities kind of independent, self-governing. The students and the instructors were self-governed, away from the interference of political movements. And it's always been like that. I think the word was universitas, and it was then changed to universities. So that's basically what a university should be, free of interference from the political class. And that is exactly not happening in the state, since Scott Walker, definitely. But, it's certainly getting a lot of interference at this time. And the students' message to divest is happening at other campuses around the nation. So it's not an impossible thing to do, although Rothman seems to think it is a silly thing to do. Right?
Yeah, and again, I don't want to be too tough on him, because I'll tell you, he's not unlike a lot of administrators and
across the country.
He's sort of very elite figures who, I think they want their name to be associated with the university, because it's still an honorable thing, but perhaps aren't as engaged as they should be. And again, Rothman is in Wisconsin, but if you looked around the country, you're going to find a lot of this. And I think this is, one of the challenges of universities is that through much of the history of this state, especially, there was an understanding that the University of Wisconsin was something special, that it was, it wasn't just another university, that this was the great state University of Wisconsin, and that it sort of led the nation as regards openness to thinking and to challenging ideas, to ideas that push the limits. One of the interesting things about universities, I mentioned a minute ago, is this tradition of sifting and winnowing. The idea that at the University of Wisconsin, no matter what happened elsewhere, there would be this robust, intense debate, and it would be at times troubling, right? Unsettling, difficult. But that at the end of the day, out of that discourse would come, as the plaque on Bassam Hall suggests, truth. And I don't know if we ever get to truth. I mean, that's a difficult thing, but at least there's an effort to get there. And I think these students, and I'll mention both students who are there supporting Free Palestine, but also students who are objecting or who disagree with them. And what's very wonderful at this point is that I've seen, when you go down to the mall there, you've seen students who are advocating for ceasefire, who are advocating for divestment at the university. You've also seen students who've come by who disagree with that. And there haven't been bitter clashes. There actually been, I've seen actual dialogue where people are talking to each other, and there's people coming from a lot of different perspectives. It's actually, at the end of the day, a pretty healthy thing. Not always perfect. And we've had some graffiti and things that are ugly and inappropriate, evidence of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Not so much, from, where usually individuals speaking or something like that, but again, graffiti and stuff like that. And we always have to guard against that. You have to make sure that there's a safe discourse, that doesn't go to points where we try to hurt people or harm. But by and large, what I've seen around the campus is a lot of dialogue, and hopefully, and I guess maybe in that sense, a great compliment to
I agree.
The students, at least. Yeah.
Talking with John Nichols, associate editor of the Cap Times. And John, we're talking about the history of this peaceful protest, especially here at the UW. And, we mentioned the 60s, 1980s, 1960s, and then going all the way back to the 1890s. Why in Madison? What's in the water here that happened way long ago that made this way, do you think?
Oh, I think it goes back to the Wisconsin idea and this very strong tradition of respecting the university. Remember, Wisconsin's got this great progressive tradition. It runs deep in the state, not just in Madison, but around the whole state. And that progressive tradition was inspired in many ways by Robert M. La Follette, who was a very proud University of Wisconsin grad. and Bella Follett, his wife, who's also a pioneering UW grad. And so my sense is that that the people who formed the Wisconsin idea believed very strongly that the University of Wisconsin should be engaged with the state and engaged with the issues of the state. That it shouldn't just be an ivory tower, some elite place where folks go and think high thoughts, but never really talk to people, never really try to solve the day-to-day problems. That's not the Wisconsin tradition. The Wisconsin idea is that the boundaries of the university are the boundaries of the state, i.e., that the University of Wisconsin seeks to solve the problems, seeks to solve the challenges of the state. And that Wisconsin idea is hardwired into the university. And so I think when students come there, they learn about the Wisconsin idea. I think very often they are inspired to put it into practice, right? And to, in their own generation, in their own time, try to solve problems, try to solve challenges. Sometimes do they try to take on challenges that are pretty big and pretty overwhelming? Yes, they do. And don't you want younger generations, hopefully, to believe that they can come up with solutions that their elders failed to come up with?
Right, exactly. The mega Republicans are portraying this as anti-Semitism. And now the House put together something called the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, which is, the titles of their bills are just so laughable in so many ways. And they describe it as a House-wide effort to crack down on anti-Semitism on college campuses. And it seems like they're putting a target on college campuses nationwide. And it's not just this movement, the anti-Semitism movement, but it's also done in, as we know, Florida. We've watched that happen down there. So what do you think is happening here?
Well, look, I will tell you that a couple things that are important to understand.
Yeah.
As somebody who's spent a lot of my life reporting in Israel and Palestine and a lot of places around the world, anti-Semitism is real. There are people who hate Jews simply because someone is a Jew. And it's also true, of course, that Islamophobia is real. There are people who hate Muslims simply because they're Muslims. We have to always guard against that, and we have to be serious about it. But I think that in this current moment, there has been an effort to equate criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism.
Right,
and
exactly.
That's just not the case. As somebody who's reported a lot in Israel, I can tell you that if you want to hear criticism of Israel, you're going to hear it very loudly on the streets of Jerusalem and Tel Aviv and all the cities of Israel, because there they have at their best encouraged a rich and vibrant discourse about their country and their future. And I think in America, you find that in these current protests, there are people of all religions, Muslims, Christians, and many Jews who are protesting against Israeli policies. That doesn't make them anti-Semitic and at all. And I think it's notable that when Congress took this issue up, a couple of Wisconsin members, Mark Pocan and Gwen Moore, voted against.
Exactly.
that.
Hey, John, can you stay with us here for a couple more minutes?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Love to talk about Eric Hovde and other things.
Back with the associate editor of the Cap Times, John Nichols. More coming up on the John and Gordy Show. Got a quick 1-minute break here, and then we'll have a few minutes to wrap up, John.
Yeah.
No trouble.
All right.
All right.
But,
Sorry to cut you off on that, though.
Yeah, we're sorry, but we're up against a hard break there.
Oh, no, you got to do what you do.
Yeah.
Look,
and we want to mention that you're going to be at the Barrymore this Saturday, too.
What? Oh, yeah, with
Stephanie Miller.
Yeah. Should be a good event.
Sound like our program director. I almost forgot about the event.
You've worked with her before, right? I mean, you've met her before.
Oh, many times. Yeah. I've done both here and then around the country, different things. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's but and also I do John Fugelsang, who will be with her. I do his show quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Coming up in about
20 seconds.
20 seconds. All right.
You want to reintroduce him? tense.
Man, dig this crazy pad. Man, it's a mad pad.
WMDX 92.7 FM at 1580 AM, the John and Gordy Show. Our special guest, John Nichols, Associate Editor at the Cap Times. And we've also want to kind of touch base here, local, the race for a Senate seat, basically, Eric Hovde. What is happening? What is your impression of Eric Hovde's campaign so far, John?
No, it's been it's a strange campaign, to be quite honest. Look, one of the odd things about Eric Hovde is, of course, that he does have roots in Madison. His dad and my mom worked on the yearbook at East High a very long time ago. Wow. And so, if I was Eric Hovde, I was running for the Senate, I'd emphasize my historic roots, even though he's lived in California a lot in recent years. I'd put an emphasis on that. Instead, he's run sort of an odd kind of generic campaign where he takes talking points from other places and doesn't seem to be as connected as he should be, and that's an imperfection in itself. But then some of the things he said have really been bizarre. I mean, the stuff about people in nursing homes, which I think he's tried to clean up, but the suggestion that folks in nursing homes or care facilities are somehow so far gone that they can't vote or that they shouldn't be voting, that's absurd. Yesterday I was with my mom, who's 93, and she lives on her own to some extent, but in a place with assisted living and stuff like that. And I mean, we were talking about Eleanor Roosevelt and the founding of the UN and history and politics yesterday. We were talking about Biden coming out to Racine County, and so I think my mom can vote. I think people like her can as well. And I guess what I'm saying is that when someone like Hovde comes along and says things like that, I think even he knows that what he said was ill thought, but it sends terrible messages. And then the folks at the Daily Cardinal have come up with, they're reporting all sorts of instances where he said some pretty rough things about young people. And so here you got a guy running for the U.S. Senate who's criticizing old people and young people. It doesn't seem like a real model for victory, I guess.
Yeah. Not really. There is currently at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel an interview, where they get the reporters around a table with a candidate and they ask him questions around this table. And Eric Hovde goes on these long rants, and these reporters are just sitting there, not interrupting him. And he takes on this persona like he is the all-knowing candidate, and it's embarrassing to even watch. It's seriously something people should check out, definitely. It's crazy stuff. But, starting off the campaign by challenging Baldwin to go into the lake, we can't forget that.
No, that was a bit much. Yeah. And axe throwing and all sorts of other interesting things. Look, this is one of the challenges in politics, and I cover politics a lot. My sense is that Eric Hovde, he did run for the Senate back in 2012 and got beaten in the primary by Tommy Thompson. But my sense is that Eric Hovde is sort of running his own campaign. Mm-hmm. And we always like to think that candidates can do that. But the truth is that it's often valuable when you're running for office, and frankly, when you hold office, to take some advice, right? To listen to others. And I can't believe there are many people that would advise, many serious folks that would advise Eric Hovde to run a campaign the way he has run this campaign so far. Because I think he's kind of stepped on himself many times in ways that have frankly drawn not very favorable attention to him. And that's not what you want to do as a candidate. You want to kind of draw a lot of positive attention to you and kind of push off the negative to your opponent.
Yeah, that's the idea.
It seems to have reversed order here.
Talking to John Nichols, Associate Editor of the Cap Times. Just a minute or two left here, John. You're going to be at the Barrymore Theater Saturday night at the Stephanie Miller Show. You're one of the special
Sexy
panelists.
Liberal. You're part of the Sexy Liberal group.
Yeah. And so I know you know Stephanie Miller. You've worked with her before. You're looking forward to Saturday night like the rest of us, right? Yeah. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's always a good show. And she's got a lot of good people with her. She's got John Fugelsang coming out. And John is somebody who I've known for a very long time and done a lot with over the years, both with the Nation and with Fighting Bob Fest here.
Oh, yes.
He's come out and spoken at that. Yeah, so it's a good bunch. They know Wisconsin, or at least they have a good sense of it. And it's a very topical show. So there's a lot of humor, but it's rooted in sort of the politics and the issues of the moment. And so I'm excited to be a part of it, and I think it'll be a pretty good get together. And I'm glad you guys are coming.
Yeah. Have you participated in the panel discussion at other shows before?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So it's at the end of the show, and you take questions from the audience. Is that what happens?
It can happen that way.
It can happen that way.
It's like I got to tell you, you're with a lot of really talented comedians, and talkers, and so it's sometimes hard to get a word in as right, and that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
No,
and but yes, there's a lot of audience interaction, and I think the people who come tend to be real fans of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's there's folks even during the show. There's folks shouting out things and responses to it. So it's pretty good, pretty lively get together.
Pretty interactive.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, we're talking to John Nichols here from the Cap Times, and it's really great to have you on the show for the very first time. You're listening. You're actually on the third best morning show in Wisconsin,
as voted by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association.
Right.
So,
well, it's only a matter of time before you move up that ladder.
That's right.
Yes,
we'll see.
We assume that.
We're hoping. Well, John, it's great to talk with you. We appreciate it, and continued good luck and good work at the Cap Times. It's terrific to have you here today.
Yeah.
And say hello to Sly for us. By the way, Sly introduced us on the show. He was our first guest, and he introduced us to Madison, basically.
Yeah.
So we
It's great to
appreciate
have
that.
Well, he's a good guy and has done a lot of good work over the years. Thanks for having me. Keep up the good work, and I appreciate the questions.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
see you Saturday night at the Barrymore.
Talk
Very
to you
good.
again.
Okay, take care, my
Appreciate it, John.
It's John Nichols, Associate Editor of the Capital Times. We appreciate him spending some time with us this morning. It'll be great to see him Saturday.
We've done so much in this town.
Unbelievable. So that's going to do it for us for this Thursday. Tonight, we'll be at the Madison Night Market right outside our station here on State Street, 202 State.
If it clears up.
From 5 to 9. Bring your umbrellas, maybe, just in case. That'll do it for us today. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning with more of the John and Gordy Show. Stephanie Miller is next. Have a great day.
See you later. Bye-bye now.
Let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.